Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very experimental concept that I have been mulling around on for a while now. Think of it as a tier list, except we're going to be going in depth as to the value of each and every single company in Victoria 3. This will afford me more than just 1 or 2 minutes to explain why I give every single company its rating. Now, seeing as this is in fact the very first video in this hopefully long-standing series, I decided to begin with the very best company in the game, Basic Tools. With any luck, this video will showcase to you my reasoning as to why I believe that this is in fact the best company in the game. So stay a while and listen. Alright, now beginning things off, we're going to be talking about the buildings and the building outputs, which you can see right here on the left here. We're going to bring it up and showcase to you why I think that these are fantastic. You see, tooling workshops, for instance, the very baseline building that you get for basic tools are ultra profitable. Input costs for the building are particularly low because it's literally just wood and iron in most cases, and it actually gets better as you go all the way up to rubber. But here's the thing, tools are extremely easy to keep profitable all game long, even when you go up to rubber. Why? Because the input costs remain low throughout, and the base cost for tools remain at 40 throughout the game. It is a fantastic building, it will make you a lot of money, and because it's used in the construction cycle, you literally get to control how many tools that you need at any given time. It's a good idea to probably maximize how many tools you're using at any given time, because then it makes the basic tool company even more profitable over time. But that's not the only building out there that is particularly good for the basic tools. You see, the only possibility that you get is steel mills. You see, they took out iron. We'll talk about that later, but because steel mills is still a possibility for basic tools, it is actually a good idea to spend the 100 authority for the industry rights to do steel mills. That's why there's a plus sign here that showcases that it is a addable building. Okay, so here's the thing. Regarding steel mills, they are actually fairly profitable due to their high base cost of 50 and the relatively low input cost, and it does get better as you go along all the way up until about electricity, which is, believe it or not, really easy to keep cheap. So it's actually a good idea to try to make a little profit off of steel mills, but it's not the end goal for adding steel mills. You see, you're actually adding 100 authority to add steel mills as a building for the construction efficiency and the throughput bonuses. You want to keep steel cheap. The cheaper, the better, because it'll keep your construction costs cheaper. This isn't going to be a major profit maker as a result of that, especially once you get to like ranges of minus 20% steel and minus 30% steel, which, believe it or not, is still actually a little bit profitable. It's still worth adding as a result of that. So I also love adding steel mills to the basic tool companies, which makes it even better. Now, you probably noticed at this point that iron is missing from this list, and that is because they actively tried their best to nerf the tool company by removing it. You see, back in the day, we didn't really do steel mills. Instead, what we would do is we'd go with basic tools and basic steel or Duro y Campagna or something along the lines of getting us prestige steel. Well, now, I don't really think it's that big of a loss, to be honest, because I honestly think that steel is better as an industry right rather than a direct company additive, which is something that you would get from like Duro y Campagna. But here's the thing, I like Duro y Campagna to the point where I would actually still take it and just keep tool workshops as the only building for basic tools. So you can actually get away with keeping basic tools as a one building company and you won't even feel bad about it. So yeah, it was nerfed, but it really wasn't nerfed enough. And they did their best, but it wasn't enough. I'm telling you, it wasn't enough. Oh, but we are not done yet now, are we? Oh, no, we have precision tools to talk about. You see, precision tools is actually one of the best prestige goods in the game. Tools are used in a wide array of industrial companies, making it one of the most highly sought after for the extra throughput bonus given by, and it also makes it an absolutely fantastic trade good overall. So if you're one of the people who can manage to get to the top 3 tools production to actually get this prestige good from the basic tools company, then you're going to be loving life. Yeah, it's hard to do sometimes, especially when you're playing a smaller country. You're going to have a harder time getting top 3 for tools to actually get the precision tools. But here's the thing, it is worth the effort, and it should be sought out by any player out there. That is how good precision tools are. You're literally looking at a 12% to 18% possibility for extra throughput on a lot of different companies, and we're talking even construction. That is really good. It's not 12% for construction. I think it's more along the lines of 6% for construction, because tools are not a major factor for construction, but it's still something, and it's not nothing, and it's very, very good. I love precision tools, and they definitely are worth your effort. Now, here comes the real reason why I absolutely love basic tools. The prosperity bonus that is given to you by basic tools is plus 5% manufacturing. Now, people don't think of this as a particularly powerful prosperity bonus, but they are 100% wrong. And the reason why is because the prosperity bonus is universal in your country. It is not bit by bit or piece by piece. It is literally for every single building out there that refines resources, namely any building within the urban section of your states. Okay? That means any building out there within the urban section. Let's just see here. That means tooling workshops, that means steel mills, that means motor industries, food industries, explosive factory. Yeah, it doesn't use tools, right? But it still gets a lovely, lovely throughput bonus as a result of that. Look at this, 5%. We're talking about the food industry here, and it still gives you a 5% from the Combine and Metalworks here, which is freaking amazing. Absolutely lovely. And it's every single building that refines something, so paper mills gets it too. Look at this, Barra, yep, Combined for Metalworks. You get it from Glassworks, which is really good because that's a construction cycle company. That's good. It goes, does it actually affect these companies? Do they even get throughput? No, they don't, but everything. Even Electrics Industries gets hit by it. Look at this. Everything that refines something. That means everything in the urban building section, obviously except for the companies themselves. But that is a very, very, very big deal and is not something that should be overlooked by any measure. It is definitely something that you should always, always aim for. That makes this quite possibly the best prosperity bonus in the game. By far. Okay, everybody, we're now going to be talking about synergy. You see, synergy is a corporate word used to describe how something works well with something else to generally make something a little bit more profitable. And what could be more profitable for basic tools than reducing the input costs for tools, namely the metals and potentially even the wood. So you know what? I'm actually going to add something right here, right now. I'm going to add basic forestry to the synergy list while we're here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, again, we're talking about all of the inputs for tooling. We're not just talking about the coal and the lead and the sulfur for basic minerals, which actually pairs up well with tooling. It doesn't reduce the cost of the inputs, but it pairs up so well with tooling that I had to add it for the synergy. But because tooling is so widely loved by players, and it's pretty much the first pick for 90% of the players out there, basic metal mining is actually a good pair for tooling because it reduces the costs of iron in particular, which is a big factor for the cost of tools. However, basic forestry doesn't just lower the cost of wood, which is another major factor for tools, but rubber. You see, overall, when you add rubber to basic forestry, when you get to level 4 for your tool production method, which uses rubber, by the way, you can then keep the price of rubber relatively low so that you're not losing out on a major amount of profit for your tooling. And that is partially, and actually no, that's entirely the reason why I think that these three in particular are great synergies. But that's not all. You see, we're also going to talk about something else. We're going to talk about the overlaps. You see, again, basic tooling is such a powerful, powerful company right now. It reduces the value of other companies. Now, it doesn't completely reduce the value of Duro y Compañía. I still love Duro y Compañía. I will actually take Duro y Compañía, and by doing so, I'll just keep the tooling workshop as the only building for basic tools. However, basic steel, the value in my eyes has dropped precipitously. I am no longer a lover of basic steel. I used to take basic steel as my secondary to tooling workshop, where I would give basic steel coal and tooling would get iron. Now that tooling doesn't get iron, unfortunately, basic steel has become redundant because now I'm going to give basic tools steel mills instead. So I don't really want the prestige steel that badly that I'm willing to give up a company slot for something that I can effectively cover just with basic tools. Everything else that's covered by basic steel can be covered by another company out there that is not a problem to get. So I consider this such a major overlap that it actually reduces the value of basic steel to a point where I do not even consider it a strong company anymore. I don't even consider it a strong situational company, but we'll have a video on that later. Alright, we're now on the important information. This is something that I consider to be very, very, very important to actually explain to people bit by bit by bit. For the beginning, obviously, I consider Basic Tools to be the best company in the game. I think a lot of people are inclined to agree with me on this fact. Most people generally take Basic Tools as their very first pick. It's not always going to be the very first pick. A lot of people will say that Basic Food is a better first pick because you get the birth rate bonus a heck of a lot quicker, which helps your world, your entire country, a lot more than just, profitability from Basic Tools. However, here's the thing. Once more, I have to remind you, this company, this Basic Tools company is so unbelievably strong, it actually makes Basic Steel worse just by existing. I know, they nerfed Basic Tools, and by nerfing Basic Tools, they made Basic Steel pretty much worthless. That's a joke. At the same time, Basic Tools is always useful. From beginning to end, it's so useful that I am actually going to go out of my way here, and I'm going to do something that you're not going to see a whole heck of a lot on all of my tier lists, okay? We're going to go, and we're going to state that it's an S-rank early game. You could take it as your first pick, and you won't even feel bad about it. Why? Because low input costs makes tools extremely profitable always, and those input costs are going to remain relatively low even in the early game. Even if you have plus 50% iron, you're probably still going to be making money off of Basic Tools. It's wild how that works, right? And the profitability doesn't go anywhere. In fact, it only gets better in the mid game. So say you're crazy and you're like, I really want basic forestry and I really, really want basic food for my first two picks. Well, in that case, why don't you take Basic Tools in the mid game? No problem, right? It's easy. Do it. It's fine. You'll love it. But then there is the late game. You see, if you're really, really, really crazy and for some reason you just completely forgot that Basic Tools existed and you're like, oh, well, I got one last pick in the game. What should I use it on? Well, I don't have tools cover for some reason. Basic Tools. It's such a good company that it's universally wonderful. I would suggest you take it in the early game, but if you wait till the late game, that's fine. That's why I think the overall rank is S. I don't think the overall rank is S. I think it's triple S, okay? I think that this company is so important that it should be included in every single game that you play. You shouldn't even think twice about it. It should just be a guarantee. So that is what I think about Basic Tools. When I do put it into the list here, I'm telling you, it's going to be the best among the best. I'm not just giving it an S, I'm giving it triple S, so people understand that it deserves all of that attention. Alright everybody, I'd like to thank you for watching this far into the video. You guys truly are kings for doing that. However, I would like to remind you that this is in fact technically an unscripted video, so the rambling nature of how I talk is probably the reason why, because it's not fully scripted out. It's literally just bullet points, and I'm just going through the bullet points as I go along, while at the same time trying to actually put through on the screen. So I will eventually get better at this, so it will come out a little better as a result. We will be able to flow a little bit better once I can actually collect my thoughts a little bit better. So please, just bear with me until then. But, the information is going to be useful no matter what. I hope that there are people out there who are on the fence about Basic Tools will now understand upfront why everybody believes Basic Tools to be so wonderful. I probably could add even more information in there. I could probably go into depth for all of the input costs for all of the buildings and all of the actual inputs. That'll take a heck of a lot longer, and it wouldn't be an 8 to 10 minute video if I did that, so we're not going to do that. I want to keep this as a short, quick, little snippet of a video so that people can just kind of watch it on the side and maybe get a better understanding as a result. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching once more. Make sure to like and subscribe because I definitely need that. The algorithm is not loving me right now, but beyond that, make sure to give your loved ones an extra hug tonight because you never know if they're going to be here tomorrow. Believe me, I know. Anyhow, Hail Hydra Cat, and thank you.